Good mark, Peter Rogerson. Elects to play on. Eaglehawk needs plenty of this sort of running play. 2 bounces, Peter Rogerson goes through the centre of the QEO. Looking up here for Gilmore. Gilmore's in front of Neiman on this occasion.
Marlowe takes it for United. He drives down looking for a running axle again. He shoved away McDougall. Bang! It's home! Oh, brilliant football, Axel. 69-9. Well, in goals in front. And what's happened here? Barnes has chipped it after the kick out, and he's kicked one.
I've got the time clock on 14 minutes in the second quarter. O'Connell shoots for goal. I think it's all right. It's there all right. That's Eaglehawk's second goal.
And he's Slater for the first time all day. Bursts out of the centre. He'll be looking for Crone or Gilmore. Crone! That's a great mark, a one-hander. Langan's got too much pace, well done. And Langan for United chips the pass across the centre half forward. Usually a beautiful kick of the footy. Breeze playing havoc out there today, but Geary hasn't let it worry him. He's put it right through the centre. Great goal.
He goes through, but he can't collect it in time. Danny Slater finally gets possession. Handballs over to, I think it's Andrew Shannon.
Yes.
Shannon has a shot for goal. I think it's through. A left foot shot by Andrew Shannon.
And back here at the Queen Elizabeth Oval, Northern United 12-10-82. Eaglehawk 3-5-23. Robert O'Connell trying to get his charges moving there in the rooms. But whilst we have a couple of minutes up our sleeves here on Grand Final Day, I'd like to hark back to Friday evening in Bendigo, where the Bendigo Football League board ran a magnificent evening at the famous Persian Room, where they ran the Bendigo Football League Hall of Fame. 20 players were invested into the Hall of Fame, the greatest 20 players in Bendigo Football League's history, as judged by a specially selected panel. Players had to have played at least 3 years in Bendigo and played at least 50 games. It wasn't a selected side, it was just the 20 best ever players. Richard, while we've got a couple of moments up our sleeve, let's hark back to Friday night and go down that list of 20 players, and of course some of them not with us today, having passed on, but certainly some magnificent names.
Certainly was, Shane, and what a great evening it was. Congratulations to you and Alan for the comparing that night. It was a very professional job, an excellent night. Here are the players: Graham Arthur from Sandhurst, Echuca and Hawthorn; Ron Best, Golden Square, Sandhurst and Northern United; Wally Culpet, Hawthorn, Kyneton and Castlemaine; Kevin Curran, Hawthorn, Sandhurst and Rochester; Eddie Esposito, Eaglehawk and Melbourne; Reg Ford, Sandhurst and Golden Square; George Ilesley from Eaglehawk and Carlton; Bob McCaskill, of course, the Prince of Coaches, Sandhurst, Hawthorn and North Melbourne; Alan Martin, Footscray, Golden Square and South Bendigo; Peter Moroney, Golden Square; Alf Pixie Odgers, Sandhurst; George Ogilvie from Richmond, Echuca and Rochester; Clive Philp, Hawthorn and Kyneton; Peter Pianto, Eaglehawk and Geelong; Colin Rice, Geelong and South Bendigo; Tony Southcombe, of course, out there today, Golden Square, Carlton and Northern United; Fred Swift, the late Fred Swift, Sandhurst, Richmond and Kennington; Alan Bruiser Williams, Eaglehawk; Greg Williams in the running for Monday night's Brownlow medal from Golden Square, Geelong and Sydney; and Herb Zegland of Rochester. 313 games for Rochester.
Well, some great names there. A quick one, Dennis, before we take a break, before the beginning of the second half.
The Hall of Fame, it was they were all brilliant, obviously, in their day, but I just couldn't help but be amazed by the record of a couple of the older players that I didn't know about. But Reg Ford, for instance, was in 13 winning grand finals. Yeah. That's just amazing. That's a career, and he's won 13 of them. And then our own Greg Williams and the modern day players, 22 years old and already in the Hall of Fame.
Half-time in Bendigo Football League's big day of football for the year. Grand final day. Eaglehawk 12-10. I should say Northern United 12-10. The Borough languishing on 3-5. Wouldn't they love to be 12-10? A quick break and then back for the second half on TV8 Football. On Grand Final Day, the umpires ready now to bounce the ball for the beginning of the second half. A little bit of a to-do there with Northern United President Johnny Mulqueen, who didn't appear to want to go back into the area designated for the club and was standing up on the boundary line. Anyway, the umpires have spoken to him, and we're all ready now for the beginning of the second half. It's the Swallows 12-10-82, the Two Blues 3-5-23. That's a lead of 59 points. It's a brilliant burst of goals from Northern United in the first half that have earned them that break. Now can they go on, or can Eaglehawk fight back into this grand final? Findlay gets a kick off the ground after the beginning of the quarter, and out it goes now with McIver. Gets a hand pass moving to Slater. He's going the wrong way. That's the way the Borough's been going all day. A hand pass across to Rogerson, and Rogerson drives down now toward the half-forward flank on the grandstand side, right in front there of the Eaglehawk stronghold. But Munro loses out, and United still doing it well. They race into the game now and try and drive forward, but lose out to Munro again. He tries to break two tackles. One of those from the irrepressible Murray Osborne. who eventually bumps him over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Interesting to see Darby Munro up forward, and also David Ludeman hasn't got much of a rap, but he's been really dominating the aerial contest.
There's the throw-in. Down to the ground it comes. Big pack of players around the ball. The umpire says, give it to me. I'm going to put it to ground. Scoreboard 82-23. Nigh on 10 goals. Eaglehawk have got to make up in the second half if they want to win this grand final. And that, of course, is a huge task. Adlam thumps it down. A lucky bounce for Findlay would bring him into the game, but United playing in front again. Handball into no man's land. Munro plays for the free kick and then shovels it out behind him, but Ludeman goes in. Feeds the hand pass across to Rocky Road. He couldn't pick it up, and over the boundary line once again for a throw-in. I see Collins' thigh is very heavily strapped there, Dennis.
Collins is not well, I don't think. Neither is Gerard Geary. Doesn't look well at all.
Adlam tries to take it out of the air, still can't get possession of the ball. O'Connell goes in now. He fires a good effective hand pass wide to Shannon. Now he can fire one further afield. It was a very poorly directed one though. Joe Geary comes out as Walsh tries to get into the game down there, and we're going to see a throw in. Forward pocket under the main Queen Elizabeth Oval scoreboard. At the Barnard straight into the ground, and there's the throw in now. Up they go, Ludeman and Adlam. Adlam, big thump right down the throat that time of Osborne. And Osborne wins the kick wide. Mountjoy caught behind on that occasion. Might be an Eaglehawk mark to McDougall, or was it Shannon on that occasion? No, McDougall goes in. Still umpires letting it go. Now they've found a free kick. It's going to go United's way to Reece Lang on the half-back flank. Out there on the outer side of the ground, down the wing, McDougall and Exel. McDougall wins this one. Oh, no talk though. He was claimed from behind. Rogerson backing up well. Got one too high, said the umpire. And we're going to see a free kick going to Peter Rogerson. Well, to Rogerson's credit, he's battled hard all day.
That's right. Yeah. One thing about Peter Rogerson, you know he'll be having a go for the full 120 minutes of the game, Shane.
He's got it on the wing position. He's asking his forward line to give him some movement. Out they come now, led by captain Coach O'Connell, who takes the mark at centre half forward. He tries to get it going down toward the true full forward position. Gilmore in the middle of the pack couldn't take the mark. Munro was in there too. So also was Eaglehawks Alan Findlay. But immediately Northern United defenders bring it away again, and they've found Mountjoy on the diamond line at centre half back. Always a steady player in a tough situation as Mountjoy. He brings it toward Barnes. Barnes under plenty of pressure. Takes the mark way out in front of Rogerson. Rogerson decks him too, and there's a 15-metre penalty. Barnes wants to get the game going. Feeds a good, effective hand pass across to Marlowe. And Marlowe will go down looking for Geary. At the back was Mackinder, who thumps it away. Southcombe comes into the game too for United. But we've seen the ball go over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Well, we've seen a bit of action in this forward line at the moment. It's still 12-10-82, the Swallows. The two Blues, 3-5-23. It'll come into play as it has many times this afternoon on that forward pocket area. Thumped away in the end by Townrow. It goes towards the boundary line in that rotunda side pocket again, and it'll be another throw-in. There's Tony Barnes, been an effective player for Northern United today, coming back on Rogerson. Umpire will throw back into play. Big Bluey Southcombe in the front position against Crone. Wayne Walsh overruns the ball. Handball out of the pack by Southcombe. Findlay, in fact, for Eaglehawk is a player who gathers it. He drives out wide onto the half-back flank. Andrew Shannon's in front of his opponent on that occasion. Handballs it across to Andy McDougall. McDougall back to Shannon. Good play by Eaglehawk. Shannon takes one bounce up the bars wing. Drives in towards centre half forward. Who's there? No one home. The ball spills to the turf. In again comes Shannon and a couple of Eaglehawk teammates. Handball out. Big George Adlam. A thumping kick will come from him. He's driving in towards the forward line. What's it done? It's hit the post. A point to George. Big George Adlam. We saw him kick a magnificent goal here last week, Dennis, from, must have been 65 metres out.
Well, I think I'd love to be buying real estate from you if it was only 65 metres. It'd have to be 75-metre kick last week. Andrew Shannon showed great endeavour up the wing that side.
Right, well, the ball's driven back into play from the fullback area. There's Shannon again in the van for Eaglehawk. Good player, this fellow in the All-Stars team on the wing. Got the handball out to a teammate on the bar side. No one home. Thumped to the deck by Northern United. Through goes, it looks like
Findlay.
Findlay, the player with the free kick for Eaglehawk. He drives towards the true full forward position. Flyers wanted for Eaglehawk. Punched away cleverly by the Northern United defence. And it'll be run through for a point by Craig Neiman, the Northern United fullback, playing a steady game for them.
Has been a little bit shown from Eaglehawk. They probably had a major part of the play in the early part of the third quarter.
There's the kick out, and Evans has made good position at centre half back. He'll take the mark. Wayne Walsh has been an ordinary player today. He was standing the mark, and Evans brings it toward the wing position. Joe Geary, impressed with this guy today, hasn't done too much wrong. He's marked it on the true wing position, right on top of the Comet sign there. Of course, Comet, the major sponsors of the Bendigo Football League. And there's the good kick from Geary down toward half forward. Or Rogerson misses what he should have taken. Goes to Pearce, who looks slow, but is well shepherded for and is able to bring it out clearly now. He's found Crone right in the centre. Hand pass on to Walsh. Walsh has passed out to Adlam, a poor one. Adlam feeds it back now toward Crone. He ran into a brick wall in the form that time of Northern United's defenders, and they bring it away again comfortably down toward the centre. Rogerson goes in hard and gets one too high against Brett Shelton, and it's Peter Rogerson to take the free kick. Onto that left foot, he drives it wide toward the wing. Danny Slater out in front, well shepherded for by Ninger O'Connell, and away goes Danny Slater, always a dangerous player when he's running. Looking down here for Darby Munro, who's got front stalls. Oh, but good defence from McAleese, who's done well down in defence today. McAleese hasn't put a foot wrong, and he runs the ball out of defence to Evans, who marks between half-back, flank and wing on the grandstand side. Gary Evans, seasoned campaigner, led the Bendigo into league side last year. He drives toward his captain coach, Bluey Southcombe. Ball beats him over the boundary line for a throw-in.
It's been a one-sided game so far, Shane, but the handball and kicking generally and skills has been excellent.
It's been a great game to watch and a terrific game to commentate. Hope our viewers at home are enjoying it as United attack again. Excellent in the game so far, but just as soon as you say that, he will flash in. A shocking defensive error there allows he and Geary to get into the game. Hand pass feeds wide. Exel desperate for the ball, but had too many Eaglehawk defenders to beat on that occasion. And eventually Townrow clears with a raking torpedo right up the centre of the QEO. Bounce beats Joe Geary. Comes out now where McIver's got the show. He's had a very ordinary day. Leaves the ball go for Big Crone, who's well tackled. Goes to Pearce. Rhodes on his tail, but Pearce feeds a very effective hand pass out, and now they're running across to Findlay. Findlay's possession, ordinary one. Slater takes it, half forward flank, uses pace to get around Evans, and then drives to Gilmore. Yes, Gilmore's marked. I thought, Dennis, Eaglehawk's best passage of play for the day.
Certainly their only really fine passage of play. It's interesting to note the excellent tackling of Northern United. Even though they didn't get possession back then, some of the tackling's been extraordinarily good.
Let's have a look at Gilmore's mark as he rises, got a few yards in front of Neben that time. And when you give Gilmore a chance, he's got a beautiful pair of hands. Should kick this now. The angle about 50 degrees. He is about 30 metres from goal. Steers it right through the centre of the Barnard Street end. Let's a couple of goals and try and bridge this gap, but Northern United go forward. Chance for Geary to come into the game. Eaglehawks defenders with Townrow and Mackinder working hard are able to clear to the half-back flank. On the grandstand side, ball bouncing toward the boundary, stays in play. Barnes wins it well, offloaded as he kicked, but the umpire said he carried it over the boundary line, and we're going to see a throw-in. Is it too late for Eaglehawk to start making a foray back into this game, Dennis, at the 10-minute mark of the third quarter?
Well, it's certainly not too late to get back in the game, but they're so indecisive when they get the ball in the back line. They don't seem to know what to do. They're running around in circles.
There's the throw-in. Southcombe taps down. Marlowe wins it. Might have been holding the ball against that player. Munro goes in. Southcombe working hard too. Sheldon's in there. Very indecisive passage of play all round while we're using that word. And we're going to see a ball up. Half-forward flank. Down at the city end, which has been favoured by a slight breeze, although as Alan Besley mentioned at half-time, that breeze almost blowing across the ground now. There's the bounce. Oh, Adlam go for Southcombe one there, thank you. It was probably fairly fair. And Mountjoy thumps it into open territory. Barnes. Oh, don't tell me he snapped that right through the centre. Oh, a beauty. What a great goal from Tony Barnes.
That's an absolutely brilliant goal by G. He's had a major effect on this game. He's strong, he's got good skills. George Adlam, they just ran into each other, always good friends, Tony and George. But this fellow, you watch Tony Barnes, he's got great skills, extremely strong player. Very few people would know that he's played senior football at Melbourne and had got an automatic game when he went down there and also represented the Goulburn Valley 12 times. So a handy recruit.
A very handy man to have. And Richard Jones, 88-31. Things are looking sick for the Borough.
Yes, indeed it is. It was an answering goal from Barnes. There's a bit of a bingle up. No, I beg your pardon. We're pointing to Gerard Geary coming off the ground as Northern United go back into attack again. Scotty Neiman, a pretty fair game from this lad today. Peter Cole is the player on the ground. Gerard Geary off. Scotty Neiman will drive Northern United forward again. Up they go. Exel from behind. I think he might have got it play on, says the umpire, Jeff Miller. Tricky tries to get hold of it, but it's eventually cleared by Dorrington. He scrambles it out towards the bars wing again. In behind is Joe Geary. Played a fairly steady game also as this fellow. He drives it towards the boundary line. Maybe out on the full. It is. Boundary umpire Bellacini says it's out on the full. Your kick, Eaglehawk.
You mentioned Scotty Neiman there. I think some of the unsung heroes at Northern United have played excellent games. He's one of them.
Right, indeed, Dennis. In van there is Murray Osborne, another recruit from the Goulburn Valley area. Caught Osborne, said the umpire. Play on, and Eaglehawk goes towards the true centre-half forward position again. A couple of players fall over as the ball comes towards him. Crone tries to barge his way through the pack. Not successful. Gilmore tries to shepherd off at the Northern United backman. taken by Evans. Quick handball out. Over towards Craig Neiman. In the van again is Northern United player. I think it's Brett Sheldon. Goes for one bounce. Sheldon down the grandstand wing in towards 7.5 forward. No one home for United. That's mine, says big Gary Adlam, and he marks a good one at centre half back. Goes towards centre half forward looking for Dorrington. Dorrington's got it. Good solid mark there by Brian Dorrington. Ian Marlowe, the player on the mark. Dorrington goes back looking for Northern Eaglehawk forward line. Player up there was Slater. Evans, the Northern United player, tumbled to the deck, and it stacks on the mill again in the Eaglehawk forward line.
Eaglehawk had just mark and kicked though. Brian Dorrington should have fed the ball off to Darby Munro, but they don't even look as if they're interested in handballing off to each other.
Yes, agreed, Dennis. There's been many opportunities that they haven't availed themselves of. Difference is 57 points. It was almost that at half-time as Walsh wins it, but can't do too much with it. Gives it to Findlay. Findlay into the goal square, but safe at home, way back there in defence. That's a good United mark taken by Craig Neiman. He goes wide. He was looking for Langan, who dropped what he should have taken, but then got the lucky bounce and recovered and runs the ball down that outer wing. But a good mark's been taken here for Eaglehawk by Darren Thompson. Been a fairly quiet player, young Thompson, but has got this in the centre diamond area. He feeds it long. He'll be looking down there for Crone, who's outnumbered 3-1. Ball spills to the ground. Where's O'Connell? He goes in now, but Sheldon gets it out to Joe Geary. He'll come to Tony Barnes. Rogerson punts the ball away. Peter Cole on the ground for Gerard Geary, wins it now. And Cole looks down for Exel. Got front stalls. Punched away by McDougall. Marlowe roves it well. Then overruns the ball. Now it's fed out by young Thompson towards Gordon, who goes in. Hand pass out of the pack by Cole, finds Exel. Now this is danger. Exel's onto his left foot, but this time, one of the very few times when he's on the run, he's put it out of bounds on the full, and don't the Borough crowd love it?
Yes, I think they're just dwelling on a mistake Gavin Exel's going to make because he hasn't made too many. He was under pressure there, but you see him run around on that big left foot, you automatically think the goal will be coming up.
Well, the scoreboard shows Northern United 13-10-88, Eaglehawk 4-7-31. Can the Borough come back and make a game of this by three-quarter time? Andrew Shannon goes for the left foot pass. Good little mark out here taken by Murray Collins. Looking on forward for Peter Rogerson. Looks a bit weary, Rogerson. Gathers it in though. Gets an extra gallop down the grandstand wing goes Rogerson. Slightly over Slater's head. Robert O'Connell butters up well. Balks round Geary. Looks as though he's going for the hand pass, but drives it a little pass in to Wayne Walsh. Walsh almost caught of the handball to Slater. Not quite. I think I better go back, says Wayne. He did, and plays on and finds Slater in the forward pocket. Now, Danny Slater, normally a good kick for goal, Dennis, might make this number 5 for the Hawks.
Danny is a good kick. He's usually a better kick on the run, but he's played a lot of football. Wayne Walsh at least contributed something then. He's had a fairly ordinary day.
Right, well, we're looking at Wayne Walsh now, lining up for goal number 5 for Eaglehawk. He shoots in towards goal. He's offline, though, Wayne Walsh. A point is all he's got. That's 2 points to Wayne Walsh for the day. And Eaglehawk go on to 4-8-32, trailing Northern United 13-10-88.
There's really none of the senior players at Eaglehawk have led the way. They're relying on younger players to try and do most of the work.
Yes, the Collinses and the young Thompsons and Gordons and these type players. And there's a bad mistake after the kick out, and it's won by Tricky, who's been quiet since that devastating first quarter. Down toward Marlowe at centre half forward. United playing up and down the middle all the time. Evans goes in, ducks his head, no free kick. And there's Exel too. Now Pearce goes in. Well done, Potsy Pearce, as he's affectionately known at Eaglehawk. He gets it out to Rogerson, who finds Adlam in the centre. Hand pass across to Dorrington was good football. And Dorrington's long kick finds Gilmore. He couldn't take the mark. In goes McAleese. Findlay's in there too for Eaglehawk. Hack around the ball. Northern United free kick. I must admit, in a lot of those desperately lucky type situations today, the ball seems to have fallen the Swallows' way more often.
The ball does run your way, but I think they're playing in front. I still wish the umpires wouldn't pull it up quite as often, but they've done quite a good job, actually.
It was a beautiful mount to a mark, Richard.
Yes, it was Murray Osborne who got the free kick on the full back line, and he drove it up, and there's Gary Mountjoy. What a finals player this fellow is. Always turns in a solid performance in the finals. Looking up this half-forward line, who's there? Scotty Neiman, another good player. Took Xavier Tanner out of the second semi-final. That was a pretty good performance on its own. Neiman will look up forward now for Tony Barnes. On his hammer is Peter Rogerson. Taps it over from the back. Rogerson recovers well. Goes for the handball. Robert O'Connell's got it. Handball's back to Tony Potsy Pearce. Potsy Pearce is in trouble here, but he gathers it. On his hammer is Tony Doran, who's on the ground for United. Drives across the field to Pearce, close to the boundary line. Northern United gathered. Comes in board to, I think it's Big Bluey. Southcomb's got it. Balks like a rover, round one player. Goes for goal, Tony Southcombe, but a point is the result.
Well, I'd like to make mention of 2 points there, Dennis. The work of both wingmen. Firstly, Langan to beat Shannon brilliantly, and then Shannon's covering up work to make sure Bluey didn't kick a major.
Yes, it's a great thing to see two young players. Actually, Reece Langan's had the better of Shannon, but Shannon there had to do the hard work defensively, and he did do it.
Well, there's the big kick out. Rogers on that time. McIntyre went up from the back, couldn't take the mark for Eaglehawk. Comes to Collins. His hand pass will find Slater on the run, but it was a poorly executed handball. Made it very hard for Danny Slater. Now Evans wins the ball. In there too is Dorrington diving on it. Now Neiman feeds it out to Sheldon, and he puts it right down the throat that time of Barnes.
Shane, modern football's a numbers game. Northern United had 6 at the ball when Gary Evans knocked it out, and Eaglehawk had 3 at the ball.
Well, that's a pretty fair indication of the way this game's gone ever since the first bounce. It's been United making the play. They want that third flag on the row, the boys from Raywood and Kamarooka, and I reckon they're about 3/4 of an hour away from doing it, as Collins comes from the ground for Eaglehawk and Brett Gordon goes on. Let's have a look at Tony Barnes, very close to my mind at the moment, best on the ground, Richard.
Right, well, Barnes is going for goal number 4 for Northern United. I think he's done it. Yes, hits right through the centre.
The Jetstream row prop equipment.
Further in front, they're over 10 goals in front. Slater for Eaglehawk drives down toward Gilmore, leading out at full forward. He's got Neiman on his tail. Oh, well done. United players just bump them out of the way and drive down toward Tricky, who goes to Cole in the centre of the ground. Cole dropped what he should have taken, but then butters up well and drives to half forward. His target out there will be Shelton. Both players miss it. At the back of the pack for Northern United was Doran, who's on the ground now. And we're going to see a ball up on the half-forward flank far side of the ground. Doran's a great luxury to have on the interchange bench, Dennis.
I was going to say it's not bad when you've got a player in the North Central kicked over 100 goals from a half-forward flank. He's hit the 80-odd in the Bendigo League this year, and he's your second used interchange.
Well, there's Mountjoy winning another hard position. Down towards Southcombe and full forward. Punched away by McDougall. Won beautifully by Barnes, and he's kicked another one. And this fellow, Tony Barnes, has kicked 5 now and is playing a brilliant game for United. That Nalda medal we've got to award later in the day, he's beginning to print the first couple of initials on it, I think.
Particularly since he's played a magnificent game since the very start of the game.
Well, a beautiful goal there. Snap over the top. Bang. Straight through the centre from about 25 metres out. And let's have a look at those 2 or 3 major goal figures for the day. Richard Barnes, obviously one of them now.
Right, there's the scoreboard. 15-11, 101 the Swallows. 4-8-32 Eaglehawk. Yes, Barnes has kicked 5. Exel's kicked 5. And Gerard Geary 3. Shane.
Well, there's the bounce. And this time Eaglehawk attacked toward half-forward. McIntyre. He's another try on the half-forward line. Can't mark. And again, that irrepressible defence led by McAleese, playing a fine game. He drives down the grandstand wing. O'Connell punches away from Barnes. O'Connell's had to shift himself now to the brilliant Tony Barnes. And there's a 2-hour duel between the pair of them. Exel wins it at the back of the pack, uses that explosive pace and fine skills to hand pass on to Tricky. Exel was down behind the play there, and there's going to be a downfield free kick to Darren Tricky, who races away from Pearce, gives it to Langan. Go bang Langan. He has, and it's home again. Good night. Northern United are already beginning to write the printing on their 3rd Bendigo Football League flag in a row. The umpires may be making a report there in the centre, are they? They had the book out, and I wouldn't mind betting Alan Findlay may have been reported for either time-wasting or abusive language there in the centre of the ground. Might have been a little bit of to do in there as we see the punch down come Dorrington's way. Under pressure from Tricky. He drives toward half forward. Ball stumped away from young Gordon. Shannon flashes into the game. Gets the hand pass to Dorrington. And Dorrington for Eaglehawk puts it up and under. And that's almost going to land in the swimming pool, Dennis.
I think it was Town Row, Shane, but Eaglehawk are getting very frustrated and doing some silly things. There's only one way to get your pride back, and that's to get the ball a few times.
The difference is 75 points. You're right, it was Town Row with that up and under. A shocking kick. There's a glorious mark from that same player who rose from the back, but we're going to see a free kick come back to Peter Rogerson from the middle of that pack. 16-11, 107 the Swallows. They lead Eaglehawk 4-8-32. Long driving kick only as far as Joe Geary, who hasn't done too much wrong today, Richard.
No, he's played a very good game, Joe Geary, a much underrated player. Only played 15 senior games, and by gee, he's played well. Up they go again. I think Roger's got the mark again. Yes, he has. Peter Rogerson's marked in that pack. You've seen a fair bit of play over there. I remember in '83, Shane, we actually telecast the game from, or we sat in a commentary position on that side of the ground. Saw a fair bit of play that day, but it's Rogerson of Eaglehawk with the ball. Goes in short, looking for the unmarked Peter Crone. Peter Crone gets it. Handballs on to Andrew Shannon. Left foot kick from Shannon, looking for Danny Slater up here. Peter Cole recovers the better. Spins around well, left-handed handball to that man, Tony Barnes again. Barnes has got it, he's caught. Kicks it away, umpire Miller says that's okay, plays on. Marlowe's got it, and Marlowe's given it across to Exel. Cops a little bit of a how do you do from Peter Crone there. Nothing serious. Gavin's up and pretty right. The left ankle doesn't look too bad to me. And Exor will go back and have a shot for number 6.
And interesting to see, Dennis, Rogerson's had 6 kicks for Eaglehawk this quarter and been a fairly good contributor.
He has, unfortunately, for the first half of this quarter, he was on Tony Barnes. Gavin Exor, from probably what was going to be a goal, is now dead certainly to kick a goal.
Yes, 15 metres, and Danny Slater and Barnes having a very interesting duel at the bottom of your screen there, having a few little chuckles, almost had each other in a cuddle a moment ago. Let's have a look at Exor firing, Richard.
Exor lining up for goal number 6. It's swung a little bit away, and the Eaglehawk crowd love it. They say that's a point, Gavin, I think they're saying to him. Anyway, he's kicked 5 goals for, so he's had at least 9 kicks that I know of.
Well, if he hadn't really been taken aback by the Eaglehawk supporters, Dennis, and hadn't really put his wrong kicking boots on after the halfway mark of that second quarter, he might have had double figures at the end of the day.
Yes, I thought at that time that he was probably a little bit too interested in what they were doing, but he's played a great game.
Well, he tries to mark over Rogerson on that occasion. Rogerson having a fine quarter for the Borough. He's been their best player this quarter after being very loose on Tricky in that first term, allowing Tricky almost to set up this win. But really, there's nothing now that Eaglehawk can do. It just United all the way. Langan, he fires the pass across to Wetzel. Umpire said, play on. United supporters didn't like it. Borough supporters loved it. And now it's Wayne Walsh running on half back. Has one bounce. What's he got up forward to look for? He brings it right across to the grandstand wing, and Danny Slater goes up in front of Peter Cole to take the mark. Danny Slater now can run on. He gets around Cole. Umpire wasn't very decisive there in saying play on or stay back and have your kick. Oh, but his pass is a poor one. And it's just too good down there, United. They're too strong in every position, and this time it's going to be Osborne going in to take the mark.
Danny Slater had absolutely no pressure on him then and rammed it straight down Northern United defender's throat.
Well, there comes the kick. Southcombe gathers in. He tries to get the hand pass across here to Barnes. Those two have been devastating. Barnes stumps on now and lands the ball almost to centre half forward, and Cole thumps it on even further. It's taken by Townrow. Oh, dreadful hand pass. Straight back to Cole. Now it's a 2-hour duel in the square. Thumped away by the Eaglehawk defender that time in young Thompson. In there is Doran. Mountjoy in the square. Yes, sirree. It's through again. And up they doing it brilliantly. It's a whitewash at the Queen Elizabeth Oval.
It is a whitewash, and there's the fellow, Gary Mountjoy, who's another player from the very start of the game who's contributed a great Eaglehawk. Nothing's going right. I don't think anything is going to go right. I think she might be a record sort of score.
17-12, 114 is the scoreboard now to 4-8-32. There's a shot of Mountjoy and a very good shot of the goal umpire's form too. Puts the 2 fingers up in fine style as the bounce goes down again. Ludeman, as he's done for most of the day, wins it and bounces back to Crone. And Crone up the corridor looking for Darby Munro. Yes, he marks and should kick a major from there. And he has for the Derby. And the goal umpire, looking like he could lose a couple of pounds too, just quietly sprints out, sprints back and says, yes, it's true. 114-38 with United in front. And down 4 they go again after the bounce. Dora misses out. Exel charges through. And mishaps, and that one from 10 metres out hasn't even scored.
It wasn't a great kick. The worst part was he should have handballed to Tony Southcombe, but when you're in the position they're in, it doesn't matter.
Well, when it's your coach, you should have handballed too. Sometimes it does matter, Dennis. And there's the throw in forward pocket. When you're 12 goals up in a grand final, I suppose you're right. Exel tries to win possession again. He's working hard. He's going to try and burst out of the pack and kick a goal. Couldn't do so. And the Eaglehawk defenders there will rush it through, led by Andrew McDougall for just the one behind. And so United to 17-13, 115. Not a spectators left the ground. They're loving this brilliant display from United. 5-8, a 38 Eaglehawk as McDougall kicks to the far side of the ground.
Well, McDougall's kick has gone to the far side of the ground. Scotty Langan's Reece Langan diving in on the ball there. Umpire Nick Gibson says, give it to me, fellows, I'll bounce it, and he's going to on the far side of the ground with Northern United comfortably in front here. Down the ball goes. Gibson bounce, not that high. Southcombe tries to get it away. It eventually ends up with Wayne Walsh. He does a rugby-style up and under kick, and it may well have gone out of bounds on the full. It has. Boundary umpire Bellasini says that's a Northern United kick. Out of bounds on the full from Wayne Walsh. The player over there with the ball is Mark Rocky Road, former Sandhurst player. Must be having a great afternoon out there with the Swallows. He'll be loving this. Drives in towards centre half forward. Exel behind on this occasion. and Peter Rogerson takes the saving mark for Eaglehawk.
Peter Rogerson's making up for a few of his ills earlier in the game. He's played an extremely good second half of this quarter.
Right, Rogerson drives further along that Bars wing. It goes off hands and out of bounds. Rocky Road and Andrew Shannon contesting that one. Umpire Bellasine had a fair bit of work to do this afternoon. He'll throw it back in again on that far side. David Ludeman waiting for the ball up. There's Peter Crone going with him. Players jostle for the ball. Oh, it eludes both players, goes over the pack. A little chip kick from Shannon, travels a few metres further afield. Off hands it goes, and Northern United drive it back. In almost the centre of the position, centre field position there was Marlowe. He goes straight across field. Peter Cole's there, he'll get it just in time. Gets a left foot high floater up towards Pearce. Pearce under the ball, so was Tricky. Tapped away by Darren Thompson, Eaglehawk's Rookie of the Year candidate, goes across to Marlowe. Marlowe slips as he attempts to get the left foot to the ball. Trickled off the ground further by Tony Doran. Eventually Eaglehawk come away with the ball. It's Brian Dorrington who'll go around this pack. Kick the ball, Brian. He's going to now. He's kicked it further afield. Up it goes. Punched clear by Northern United. Punched again by Crone. Further upfield, Tony McAleese very steady in defence for Northern United. Gets the relieving kick in back again towards the pack. Flies over the pack. Crone can't grab it. Dorrington it is who gets a handball across to Shannon. Shannon a little right footer in, looking for, I think it was Adlam over there, but the ball eludes all players and will go out of bounds.
Eaglehawk just can't seem to get a break at all. The numbers are not there. Good to see young Darren Thompson getting a few grabs of the ball in the second half.
Big George Adlam goes for the ball. Ludeman it is, as Dennis said, unsung player today, but has done a very steady amount of work in the ruck. A high floater kicked up in the air. Murray Collins from Eaglehawk with a thigh strapped is the player who marks. He looks on for Gilmore. Gilmore gets it, balks around two players, comes back forward again. Dorrington the player with the ball, kicks it towards full forward. Who's there? Wayne Walsh it is, who's taken the diving mark right on the three-quarter time siren, but Walsh has taken the mark before the siren sounds and will be given the chance to steer through Eaglehawk's sixth goal as the coaches and the officials from the two clubs come out on the field. That's Wayne Walsh going back for the kick. George Adlam hands on hips, waiting to see the result. Walsh will have the chance to put Eaglehawk's sixth goal on the board. Comes in now at the Barnard Street end. Steers the ball rather than kicks it. I think it's gone across the face of goal. It may be a point.
It's going to get another kick.
It is going to be another kick, Dennis. You're quite right.
And a 15-metre penalty
and
too,
a 15-metre penalty against the player on the mark. I can't quite pick up who that player was, actually. Dennis, can you? But this is lay down Mazaire now for Wayne Walsh. He'll kick it out into the street. He has. It's landed in the gum tree. It may not have gone quite all the way out, but it's a goal to Wayne Walsh after the siren.
So at three-quarter time in the Bendigo Football League Grand Final of 1986. Northern United 17-13, 115 lead Eaglehawk 6-8-44. And we're going to take a break now before coming back to hear what Dennis Higgins had to say about that fine United third term. It's Grand Final day and you're seeing it through the eyes of TV8 football. And on Grand Final day, it's really been a one-horse race since very, very early. Northern United looking at 3 flags in a row, and they're almost there. 17-13, 115. There's a pretty good picture of the Swallows camp. Eaglehawk has 6 goals, 8-44. And Dennis, as far as statistics go, what did you pick up in that third quarter?
Well, obviously Northern United are still dominating, although in that quarter they didn't dominate the statistics so much, but the players, the most effective players, particularly Tony Barnes, but Gary Mountjoy and those players are using the ball so well and they're converting so well. Eaglehawk, in fact, had the 3 highest possession players on the ground in that quarter in Rogerson, Dorrington and Shannon. Right. But if you take Langan, Mountjoy and then the conversion rate from particularly Exel, who's missed a few, but Tony Barnes has made up for the ones he's missed. Eaglehawk, as we thought, had a fairly ordinary looking forward line and they haven't clicked at all really, and Northern United conversely are still winning easily across the centre.
A couple of quiet achievers for mine from United have been, or 3 in fact, Joe Geary, McAleese and Road, all in defence, particularly McAleese. Really hasn't put a foot wrong, has he?
That's right. It's in defence, it's more a matter of how many mistakes you don't make, and certainly those players are unsung. Rocky Road, in fact, played very well in the first quarter, had a quiet second quarter and a good third quarter, so he's having quite a good day. Robert O'Connell will be trying to stir his players up. It must be extremely disappointing if you consider the amount of hours he's put in to see the side go down so easily. So he definitely be a bit worked up at this stage.
Yes, well, he looks as though he is, in fact, Dennis. You've put it fairly subtly there. All right, Richard, what about major goal kickers to three-quarter time?
Right, Shane, well, let's have a look at him. Tony Barnes, of course, he's, we mentioned, as Dennis mentioned, an excellent game from him on the half-forward line, doing what he did in the second semi-final. In fact, he's got 5. Gavin Exell's got 5. Jared Geary's got 3. Looks pretty sore, Dennis, and he's off the ground.
Yes, he's gone for the game, I'd say, Richard.
Right, so we've got Barnes 5, Exell 5, Geary 3, and then singles to Tony Southcombe, Gary Mountjoy and Reece Langan, who chipped in with a nice one towards the end of that quarter. On the Eaglehawk side of the ledger, well, we've only got one person in double with more than one, I should say, no double figures, more than one. That's Daryl Gilmore with 2. The rest are singles, and they are O'Connell, Walsh, Shannon and Munro.
Richard Jones, the sporting editor of the Bendigo Advertiser, and in about a half an hour's time the Bendigo Advertiser cup will be raised on the steps of the famous Queen Elizabeth Oval grandstand as Reg McDonald, the managing director of the Bendigo Advertiser, passes it over, I would imagine, unless something really dramatic happens, to Tony Southcombe, the coach of Northern United. The last quarter's on air shortly here at the QEO, but meanwhile let's take a break on TV8 football.
When you walk into the brand
Elizabeth Oval on grand final day in Bendigo, and Northern United 17-13, 115 lead Eaglehawk 6 goals 8-44. Tony Southcombe delivering one of the longest three-quarter time addresses in the history of Bendigo football out there at the present time, and that'll give Alan Besley a chance to let us know what happened in both camps. Al.
Well, Robert O'Connell's appealed to all of his players to show a little pride in this last quarter stance, and Tony Southcombe was a little bit disappointed with their third quarter, and he's asked them for a big final 25 minutes. I ran into Ronnie Best down there, fellas, and he apologised he couldn't make it up there at half-time. He had a few commitments in the rooms to fire the boys up for the rest of this game. So things are looking good. In fact, the breeze is now going towards the main scoreboard into that pocket, Shane, so it's Northern United kicking with the breeze.
Thanks, Al, and certainly everything's gone their way this afternoon with that breeze turning around. Alan Besley, TV8 Sports Director, and Alan, of course, will be organising those after-match awards. We've got the Nelda Trophy to present, and of course also the magnificent Advertiser Cup. We have a couple of Puma Most Determined awards a little later in the day as well, and those presentations will be made on the steps of the QEO grandstand immediately at the conclusion of this game. Well, there's Gavin Exell and Ian Marlowe on your screen.
Yes, Gavin Exell. I just noticed a shot of Dr. Wally McGregor. I think he'd be very pleased because he's been working very hard with Gavin to get him up for the game, and I think that whilst people who don't follow the football, there's Dr. Wally McGregor now, and he makes a magnificent contribution to Northern United Football Club. I think he's must be the only doctor in Australia who's full-time at the job of looking after one football club. Of course, he does do a great job with the Bendigo League side too, so he's a great man for football.
Well, in fact, I think he won a Personality of the Year award from the Bendigo Football League. It might have been the inaugural one that the league struck, Dennis.
That's
and Wally
correct.
McGregor, of course, is always very quick to assist anyone who's injured from whatever camp it happens to be. A great man for football, Wally McGregor.
Alrighty, well, it's siren time, and we're away in the last quarter of the Bendigo Football League Grand Final. United in front by some 71 points. They thoroughly deserve their lead, and they look like holding on pretty comfortably. Ludeman gets the first punch away. McIntyre comes in for Eaglehawk. Exell's in there for United. Ball's on the ground, hand pass, feeds out to Darby Munro. He gets the Borough moving, goes wide looking for McIver, who's had a dirty day. Rocky Road goes in with pressure on him, and Cole butters up. He gives it to Sheldon. On it goes to Road, who's running. Good football, United. Road's dispossessed, goes one way, then the other. Feeds it back out to Sheldon. They've had players backing up all day. He finds Tricky all on his own under the main scoreboard, and Tricky from 35 metres can go bang, and I'll tell you what, I think he's hit the post. He has hit the post. Well, I thought for a moment that was going to go through. That goal umpire's got great panache down there, hasn't he?
The goal umpire's got a lot more style than Eaglehawk has at the moment, Shane.
17-14 to 6 goals 8. Bendigo in the lead cage, Dennis Higgins putting it beautifully as Eaglehawk run the ball off the half-back line. Darby Munro goes wide. He'll be looking for McIver. He'll take a downfield free kick for mine because Munro was put down after he got rid of the ball. Ball continues to move. Eaglehawk looking down here for Adlam. Oh, but out comes number 34, who's certainly not in any of our programs. David Muir was listed as not playing. We'll call that boy Featherby, though he doesn't look like Featherby, and the ball comes toward the wing position now on the far side of the ground. And we're going to see a free kick going the way of Joe Geary. I noticed that number 34 on the ground in the third quarter, Richard Jones, and it doesn't look unlike David Muir, to be quite honest. But we were quite assured David Muir wasn't playing.
It's not him, Shane. This player's got his socks down. I think it's somebody who's changed jumpers, frankly, but we'll try and pick that up in a second.
Well done, Richard. Well, there's the throw in now, far wing position. Mountjoy played a good steady game, Mountjoy. Wouldn't mind knowing how many positions he's had. He gets it to Sheldon. Sheldon runs the ball to the half-forward flank. Under the marquees out there. It really is a gala atmosphere here on Bendigo Football League Grand Final Day. There's those marquees and certainly many of the sponsors entertaining magnificently, and a shot of the United bench, which isn't far away from celebrating a premiership.
Yes, it is. Darren Featherby in the back pocket, changed jumpers at some stage of the game. It's Brett Sheldon with the ball now, Shane, as he drives it back in towards centre half forward, and there's a mark to the irrepressible Tony Barnes. Tony Barnes has got the ball again. He's had it on a string for most of the day. He's kicked 5 goals. What an effort from this fellow. Normally a half-back flanker, has been asked to play on the half-forward line in the 2 major finals that Northern United has contested. Barnes is going back. He fancies himself a bit for this one. He's going for a shot right into the goal square. Big long kick from him. Oh, what a good kick, Barnes. It's going to land in the goal square. Excel's up and Excel's got it. Exel has taken another mark. Not much the Eaglehawk crowd can say about that one, but Big Exel has taken the mark.
There you've got it in one. The 2 players most influential on the whole game. Gavin Exel will kick his 6th goal, could have kicked 10, and certainly the man of the match, without any doubt at all, Tony Barnes, who got the ball to him.
Well, that was a fine mark from Exel, and didn't he enjoy holding it up and showing the Eaglehawk crowd? They've really given him quite a bit from the grandstand this afternoon. 18-14 now, United, 122. Eaglehawk 6-8-44. And the 2 blue supporters getting ready to stream out of the Queen Elizabeth Oval and go back over the famous bridge, and they won't reappear at the QEO for 12 months at least.
Right, Shane. Well, I thought the Eaglehawk supporters were a little quiet there. There's a shot of Peter Fife, who, of course, a great fullback. Dougie Cale there with him. Rod Brown, the runner, as the ball's relayed back towards the centre of the field. Peter Fife, of course, unable to take his position in the United lineup, normally the fullback. But you've got to give credit to Craig Neiman and those other players who have done a sterling job in the back line for Northern United.
Haven't missed too much at all, Richard.
Jeff Miller will put the ball down in the centre. There they go. Crone and Ludeman. Crone wins a tap towards Darby Munro. Played a fairly good game for Eaglehawk. Darby Munro certainly not been their poorest player by a long stretch. Ball's chipped across the field by United. Eaglehawk in the van here, but no, it's picked up by Marlowe. Marlowe gets the handball over to Tricky. Great first quarter, Tricky. Tricky drives it further afield into the scoreboard pocket. Who's there? Tony Doran. Interchange player. Not a bad player to have on the interchange bench, this fellow. Kicked 70-odd goals in the Thomas the Jeweller's goal kicking award. Drives it in further. Who's there? Gary Mountjoy. Great finals performer, Gary Mountjoy, Dennis.
Gary Mountjoy has played in several grand finals. He always comes up under pressure, and I think he's pretty close to next best on the ground to Tony Barnes.
Right, well, Gary Mountjoy going back. He's kicked 1 goal so far. Will this be number 2 and number 19 for Northern United? It could well be. I think it is. Put down the glasses, Eaglehawk. 19 goals, Northern United. 2 to Gary Mountjoy, and it's going to be a long trip back over the Jobs Gully Bridge.
And there's a good picture too of Mountjoy. He really is the picture of determination, isn't he? He loves the game of footy, an ex-Mickelson medal winner, and a fine stalwart in Bendigo footy.
He is a great footballer. The last quarter, Shane, sees the opposite ends of Australian rules football. The last quarter for Ninga O'Connell will be the most painful thing he goes through probably, and for Tony Southcombe it's nice and comfortable.
Well, there's certainly highs and lows in footy, and one of Ninga's real lows, I'd say, this afternoon is Baines tries to win it out of the centre for Eaglehawk. Mountjoy wins another position, fires it over the top to the running Peter Cole, who hasn't done a bad job since he came on. He fumbled that one. It comes out now to where Osborne's got the chance and might have been holding the ball against that player, not paid. Now Alan Findlay wins an effective handball out on that time toward Walsh, and Walsh gets a long handball down looking for Pearce, who gets a lucky bounce. Can't get away from Featherby. Pretty ordinary. Now Pearce wins it out. Handball on toward Walsh, who's run further down the ground. He's got plenty of pressure on from Craig Neiman. He's still got the chance to pick up. He does. Handballs into O'Connell. Featherby comes in again. Very untidy passage of play. Call a hold umpire. He does. And we're going to see a ball up in the forward pocket.
It was Adlam Shane who did the hard work there, but to look at the numbers on the screen there of how many Northern United players there are.
Yes, you're quite right. There's maroon and gold jumpers everywhere. They've been at the ball, at the fall of the ball, where you've got to be all day. There's a great Eaglehawk tackle in the forward pocket. and that might have been executed by Big George Adlam, was it? Let's have a look who's going back. No,
Darby.
it's Darby. Darby Munro, one of the great old stalwarts of Eaglehawk. He would have played in that famous 1980 Premiership side, and he's had a flying shot for goal on the angle, and he's just offline. So 1 point to Derby, and 6-9-45 to 19-14, 128 the score. United by 14 goals here on Grand Final Day. Been a great player over the years, that fellow Munro, Dennis.
Darby Munro, for Eaglehawk people, is rated as one of the best players they've ever had. A lot of people in other clubs don't realise how good he is.
Findlay's had a shot for goal.
Shot for goal after that kick out. And Alan Findlay puts one through, a very belated goal for the Borough as they go to 7-9-51, 19-14, 128 United. Findlay, a comment on his game, Dennis, a real beauty last week. There were many who said he could never play that well again, and he's had an ordinary one today.
He's had a poor game today, but he did play 2 really good games in the lead-up games. I don't think it's to much avail, but I think he'd be very disappointed with himself.
Well, Alan Findlay gets through a very belated Borough goal. They go to 51. United 128. Bounce in the centre. Comes down now, and they've got the chance for Sheldon, and then Scotty Neiman to bring it away. Neiman's won a bundle of hard kicks today. He puts it wide where Marlowe and Tricky are both running. Beautiful football, Marlowe. Across to Tricky. Tricky to Doran, who got up high. Couldn't take the mark. And McDougall comes in and sees the ball over the boundary line for a throw in.
Right, well, we're in front of the main scoreboard there, and the sponsors' tents at the Barnard Street end of the oval. As the boundary umpire put the ball back into play, it looks like Andrew McDougall. It is. He's going up against Big Bluey. McDougall it was that got the front position, tapped it away, only so far as Slater, and I think Slater's going to take a free kick here, held without the ball, and Slater will come in and drive Eaglehawk down towards the centre position. Good long kick from Danny Slater. Who's there? Peter Crone can't get it, tapped away from him. Out comes the busy Peter Cole, try to shovel it away. It's Rocky Road with possession of the ball, gives it across to McAleese. McAleese drives it further in towards true centre half forward. Coming out to meet the ball is Mackinder. Just off balance there as he tried to regather the ball, and the umpires come out with a free kick. It'll go the way of Gavin Exel, I think. And what will we hear from the Eaglehawk grandstand on this occasion, Dennis?
Well, they probably don't agree. Gavin Exel, in fact, ducked his head, and the umpire played a push in the back, but still.
He's a long way out, Dennis, but Alan Bessler mentioned that breeze was blowing down to that far end. Let's see how he goes. That's a glorious kick, Exel. I think that might have been touched behind the line. Goal! Beautiful goal, Exel. And he's missed them from 5 metres, 10 metres and 20 metres. He kicks one from 55. Such is the brilliance of this guy. Let's have a look and see if it was a free kick. Dennis Higgins, you were right. He ducked his head for sure, but no worries. A magnificent goal all the same.
Yes, 55, 60 metre goal. He's a magnificent footballer, and at least people at home who've heard about him have seen him at his very best today.
Well, are we going to see a 100-point grand final winner? Greatly demoralising thing it would be for the Borough, but they're 83 points in front now, United. And Mountjoy wins it out of the centre, back to Joe Geary. Gee whiz, they are just continuing to take Eaglehawk apart. It goes to Barnes, and Barnes kicks long, ready-made for Tricky, who's underneath it, but he's beaten by Danny Slater on this occasion, and Slater feeds it off to the big Crone. He says, umpire, out of my way as I charge through, and he drives down the wing. He was looking for Darby Munro, but out in front was Murray Osborne to take the good mark for United. Feeds the hand pass across to the running Neiman, and Craig Neiman down that far wing position goes long. He'll be looking for a leap from Southcombe from the back. Southcombe couldn't take the mark. Ball to the ground. Townrow gets it across field now, and Eaglehawk through Brian Dorrington clear. He goes wide and finds a teammate out there in Big Crone who tries to accept a handball. He drops it. Sheldon goes in, but the umpire's picked out a free kick in the middle of all that, and it's going to go to Cole of Northern United. Cole fires the hand pass across, and they're running again. On it goes to Marlowe. Marlowe further afield. He was looking that time for a teammate in Mountjoy. The handball wasn't good, and Eaglehawk win it. They drive down toward half forward. O'Connell misses out. Comes now where they come out of defence, United. Well done, Featherby. He goes wide. The kick was poorly placed. McIver hasn't looked interested all day. That was another example of it. And now it goes to Osborne of Northern United. He fires it on where the handball's fed across to Mountjoy. Got one too high. Umpire saw it. So did the TV8 cameras. And we're going to see a Mountjoy free kick for Northern United.
Gary Mountjoy, great performance from him. Drives in towards centre half forward. Exel's under the ball. Coming out to meet it was Tricky. Tricky has the ball and is paid the free kick. Must have been infringed when he was going for the ball, Dennis, but anyway, Tricky will drive forward. No, he's a little chip pass in towards Barnes. There he is, Barnes, fumbled it, but held it long enough in the umpire's opinion to take that mark. Barnes bending down, picks up the ball, and he's going for goal number 6.
A late decision by the umpire, but I think it was a mark all right. You watch the way this fellow kicks the ball, does everything right, gets a beautiful connection, and I can guarantee after saying that he'll probably miss it.
Well, anyway, Barnes is coming in for goal number 6. Exel's got 7. Barnes has got 5 to this stage, but Barnes is coming in again, uses the drop punt, goes towards goal. There's no mistake about that one. Tony Barnes, goal number 6 and goal number 21 to Northern United.
And let's have a look at the way Barnes took this, and let's see if it was a mark. In fact, Dennis Higgins.
He's had one grab and another one. Oh, I suppose you could be pretty hard, but I think at this stage I would have paid it, Shane.
Okay, the TV8 football scoreboard. Northern United 21-14-140. Eaglehawk is sad and sorry, 7-9-51. The difference is 89 points. And we've travelled now to the 13-minute mark of the last quarter. It's been a great day for the Swallows. Their 3rd flag in a row. What a fine effort this has been. And out of the centre, Darby Munro working in there. He can't get it away. Walsh is in there too. Eventually a short kick comes out from Neiman, but only as far as Shannon. Shannon's dispossessed by Tricky. He dives in again, and the umpire says, "You can have a kick, Andrew Shannon. Don't ask me what for." And Andrew Shannon is going to take the kick at centre half back. To his credit, he was the only player really playing the ball. In fact, the umpire's pulled out one that I don't think anybody saw, and it's going to go the way of Mark Mackinder. Well, Mackinder's got it at the true centre half back position, hasn't really got too many options upfield, decides on Pearce, who only put one hand for the ball anyway. United just doing it on the bit now, and Marlowe wins it. He'll look down here for Doran. Oh, Southcombe like a rover. Go, Bluey, go, say the Rayward boys. And didn't Tony love it? He's kicked a beauty. And Tony Southcombe in the Bendigo Football League Hall of Fame on Friday night has kicked a great goal. He's got 2 for the day, and that brings a joy to the heart to see a Hall of Fame representative racing like a greyhound. Look at the way he rode this, Dennis.
Tony's had a very easy day today, no pressure on, but I think he'd love every stride he's taken here.
Well, he said to me yesterday at the grand final breakfast after we went off air, Dennis, he said, this old body's just about had enough of football. I said, well, it's got to get up for one more day, Tony. He said, it'll get up for one more day. He said, but that's about it.
They're 95 points in front. Are they going to win by 100? The way they're playing, they will. Hand pass feeds onto Mountjoy. Come on, Eaglehawk! And away goes Mountjoy now as he gets it at half forward. And Gary might decide to kick one. No, down Bluey's throat he goes. Southcombe couldn't mark that time. McDougall did it well. On to Rogerson, who tries to break away. He's under plenty of pressure out there. Now on to Slater, well done. And Eaglehawk clear on this occasion. Down the wing they go, and McIver gets one of his few possessions of the day. Almost beheaded as he plays on. Onto the left foot now, toward the half-forward line area. Joe Geary thumps away. Ludeman takes it, well done. Has a little bit of the fumbles, but gets it onto Marlowe. Good pick-up under pressure, Marlowe. He gets it across to the running Sheldon. And Sheldon down toward half-forward where Tricky's come out to take a good mark. And still they run on United. Hand pass onto Langan. Langan breaks one tackle. Feeds a hand pass further afield to Southcombe. He goes inboard. Lair rising for mine, but gives Exel a chance to kick the easiest goal you have ever seen in senior football in a grand final. And Northern United are 101 points in front. That was brilliant, but just too easy, Dennis.
It was too easy for a grand final, but the Eaglehawk boys, have a look at Reece Langan there. Reece Langan is a young player, and he's played extremely well on one wing today. Gavin Exel's going to have a bit of a dream time last quarter, I think.
Well, that's Gavin Exel's 8th goal, Dennis, as Gary Evans just doing up the zipper as Rod Brown, the runner, comes back towards it. But anyway, it's into the centre of the ground now. Northern United 23-14, 152. Eaglehawk 7-9-51 as they go forward again, and the mark is taken by Tony Doran. Northern United whipped the ball very smartly out of the centre that time. Tony Doran. Yes, Marlowe, the great player, Marlowe. Got it up there, and Doran's taken the mark. Now, can Tony Doran make it goal number 24 for Northern United? He's having a good look at the goals. There's no doubt about it. It's there. 24 goals, Northern United. And that's Tony Doran's first for the day, but he came on off the bench as an interchange player.
And Dennis, doesn't he kick beautifully? He really kicks through the ball, doesn't he?
Yes, Tony Doran's a very good kick for goal. Young Darren Thompson there. I think there's not much can be said about a lot of the Eaglehawk players. He was beaten there, but Darren Thompson's one of the few players that has contributed something in each of the quarters at least.
107 points in front, United. 3 flags in a row. And Big Bluey's loving it. He's back on the ball down in the centre. He's going to go for the punch against his opposition captain, Coach O'Connell. He wins it down to Southcombe to Marlowe. Marlowe onto excellent half forward. Couldn't win it on that occasion. Doran's in there. It feeds on to Barnes, who's running. He couldn't pick it up, and Thompson, well done. Feeds out a handball to Gilmore. What's he doing down there? He must be having a ruck rove, and he puts it in short to Baines, who's marked half-back flank on the grandstand side. Now Baines kicks down to where Findlay's taken a nice mark in front of Marlowe. Findlay, Alan Findlay, ex-North Bendigo player now with the Borough. It's been a humiliating day for Eaglehawk, but a great one for United as they take 3 flags in a row. Down to where the half-forward line area. Adlam had the chance. Goes on now to little Baines. He tries to get it further afield, but Eaglehawk just don't seem to be too interested at the moment. There's a throw out of the pack, beautifully done, as it went across that time from Newman to Southcombe. He goes down looking for Barnes, beaten by Rogerson. Those two have had a great duel since half-time. Rogerson across field, and the mark's taken by Murray Collins, who's back on the ground. Now Collins, short of the centre, will drive down the diamond. O'Connell from the back, hasn't taken a good clear mark all day. Walsh roves it. A shocking kick down toward the goal square area. Crone's caught behind. There's maroon and gold jumpers everywhere. Rode picks it up. Then he's dispossessed. It feeds into the open where big Gary Adlam's got the chance. And Gary's kick's ordinary and out of bounds on the full. But Gary Adlam shouldn't be having to do those sort of things out of a pack.
That's right, Sean. It's remarkable, really. Eaglehawk, I think, may have run their race in the finals to get there. I wouldn't have guessed in 1,000 years that they would have been thrashed like this. They just seem to have too much endeavour in the other games, but full credit to Northern United. They played magnificently today.
They've just put in one of those shocking grand final performances that teams can put in when everything goes wrong and when your opposition is so powerfully brilliant as this United opposition has been today. Well, a pack develops there, and the umpire pulls out a free kick to Ian Marlowe. I'm afraid all interest has gone out of the game from a spectator's point of view now. It's all United as they run the ball down the wing. They were looking for Sheldon or Barnes, but the ball beats all players over the boundary line for a throw-in. At the end of the day, the Advertiser Cup will be presented to Tony Southcombe, United captain coach. The Nelville Medal for the best on the ground, and also a series of other trophies for the most determined players on the ground. Now let's see what's going to happen from this scrimmage. We're going to see a ball up. We hope to have the official gate before the end of the afternoon. The gate was up around the $13,000 or $14,000 mark, and that was before counting concluded. The Bendigo Football League broke the $20,000 barrier for the first time in 1985. Let's hope they can do it again with these two well-supported clubs. All of the borough was out to see this big one this afternoon, and though they've been disappointed, I think all football supporters would be impressed with the brilliant performance of the Swallows here this afternoon. Here comes Pearce. He's got a free kick from that scrappy passage of play. Down the wing, but Murray Osborne, too strong on that occasion, has taken the mark, half-back flank, right in front of our broadcasting position. There's Murray Osborne's kick, torpedo. Down the wing it goes. United doing it easily, doing it on the bit, the Swallows, and they've got the mark through Barnes.
Murray Osborne's another player who's played very well for Northern United. I think they all have, but he's been very solid. He's a very good player, actually.
Louis Southcombe's made position out there between half-forward flank and forward pocket, took the easy mark. Driving right foot kick down to the goal square area. Exel caught behind, and Mark McIntyre comes out. And McIntyre for the Borough has taken the good mark. He gets the ball moving straight up the ground. He was looking for and found his captain, coach, and O'Connell on that occasion.
Robert O'Connell goes across ground with a handball down to Ian Baines, and he's driven it up forward, looking for Townrow. Townrow's in the front position, couldn't quite hold that mark. Reece Langan's in the van, good little handball out to McAleese. McAleese, another player who's played a solid game for them. Left footer up towards the true centre half forward position. Barnes and Collins go for the ball. No one can get it. It's Sheldon out on the half forward line, just in front of his team's box there. Marlowe gathers the ball, drives towards the full forward area. Who's up? No one there from United. In this case, it's Darren Thompson, Dennis.
Marlowe's got the ball on a string this quarter. He's had 8 or 9 possessions.
Well, Eaglehawk had the ball, kicked it back towards the half-forward line, but there was Joe Geary. Another player performed very well. In fact, the whole half-back line performed very well for Northern United this afternoon. Joe Geary's kick, up in the air goes Barnes again. Great mark, Tony Barnes, in the packet, centre half forward. Took that ball delivered from Joe Geary in great style.
He's had a magic day, Tony Barnes. He's very strong overhead, magnificent kick, very aggressive. And I just hope he sticks around the Bendigo League next year.
You'll be looking for him next year. I think, in fact, it was a turning point when he went off at that match at Echuca, Dennis, wasn't it?
I thought it was the turning point, followed up by Brennan Hartney having to go off just after him.
Right, well, here's Barnes lining up for goal number 7. I think he sneaked it in. I think he has. The goal umpire's having a good look. It's there, all right. That's goal number 7 to Tony Barnes, and a great performance from this fellow. Northern United 25-14, 164. Eaglehawk 7-9-51. And won't Sid Mather, the old patron from Northern United, be having a great day today? He's back from Gippsland, especially for this weekend. North Central League yesterday. QEO today, and Sid, there's a shot of the bench. John Mulqueen, the president, looking reasonably happy. Harold Hall, the team manager. Wally McGregor, Peter Fife, all looking reasonably comfortable with the situation as the ball goes back to the centre. Punched away from Bluey Southcombe, that time by Baines. Gathered by Rocky Road. Drives out wide to Peter Collins on the bar. Peter Cole on the bars wing for United. He finds Mountjoy on his own on the half-forward flank, and Mountjoy will kick Northern United back into attack again. This is Gary Mountjoy. Solid player all day. Drives it high in the air, up towards the forward line, punched away by the Eaglehawk defence. Bluey Southcombe coming down here on his own. Tried to tap it across to McAleese. McAleese didn't quite read it, but Southcombe gathers, left puts it up. There's Barnes again. On over handball to Reece Langan. Reece Langan will steady, drive towards goal. It's in towards goal. Who's there? Just over the head of Ludeman, and it's Andrew McDougall, I think the Eaglehawk defender who's marked. He goes out wide, driven further afield by Eaglehawk towards Dorrington. Dorrington's got the mark, collected late, but courageously stood his ground and marked it. Just a little wide of the true centre position for Eaglehawk. Dorrington goes long. Who's home? There's Adlam, there's Townrow. Can Townrow mark? No, punched away from him by Mark Rocky Road and Craig Neiman, and the ball goes over. And a very symbolic thing at this stage of the ground, the ball is going to be thrown in front of a sign which says the mighty Flying Swallows.
How they've flown today. They've been brilliant, the Swallows. They're heading on to their 3rd Bendigo Football League Premiership in succession. That's a fine effort in these days of modern football as they run the ball toward the half-forward line, only to be repelled by Pearce. Pearce, a long driving hand pass to Shannon, and Shannon runs around Captain Coach O'Connell and drives to the goal square. Over the back of Crone. Umpire said Crone was held against you, young Fellaby, and a free kick to Crone, almost in the goal square.
I think if that had been a different part of the game, Shannon, I don't think they would have rode it. He must have just been hanging onto his arm, but I think the umpires are not under any great pressure at the moment, nor are the Northern United players.
25-14 plays 7-9. The difference is 113 points. A chance for Eaglehawk to narrow it to 107, and they've done that through Crone.
In fact, as you saw, it was Peter Crone who was doing the hanging on and not young Featherby.
Well, Crone today probably has lost out in most of the ruck duels to Ludeman, who's been a great player, and Southcombe when he's been on the ball. But Crone around the ground has taken his fair share of marks and worked pretty hard, Dennis.
Yes, it's very hard to judge ruckman's performances when the other players, the smaller players, are doing absolutely nothing on the ground. I think I wouldn't say that either ruckman had dominated, really.
Back in the centre again, Bendigo Football League Grand Final, almost at a close. There's the bounce of the ball now. Southcombe versus Crone. Crone takes it out. Well done. Hand passes across field, taken by Dorrington. Long driving kick looking for Walsh. Neiman out bustles him. Spills out to where Osborne's got the chance. And away goes Murray Osborne now. And Osborne drives down the far wing position. He'll be looking out there for Mountjoy, who judged it better than Slater. But the ball beats both players over the boundary line for a throw in.
Some of the players, Tony Pearce, I noticed there in the picture, if he's a quarter fit, he'd be lucky. And it seems like a good decision to play those players, but I suppose now they wish they hadn't. It's easy afterwards.
Right, well, the ball's on the far side of the ground, Dennis, and a bit of a scramble develops there. Peter Cole, a very handy interchange player or utility player to have in any side. Scrambly old kick, but not too many worries from the United camp at this stage of the game. And we've got 24 minutes played in the final quarter. The ball's thrown into play again on that far side. Up they fly. Crone may have just taken the edge there. Cole gathers it, kicks it a little chip in. Marked there by Danny Slater, playing on the back line in the last half. Drive towards centre half forward. Tricky there, waited, couldn't get it. Shannon's the player in the van here. Shannon's running towards goal. Long left foot kick from Shannon. Faded away a little bit. Might have been out, and it is out. The goal umpire says out of bounds on the full, Andrew Shannon. And the Northern United back pocket player and Darren Featherby will take that free kick for out of bounds on the full. Featherby goes now wide towards the wing again. Crone up, but Mark over the back by Big Bluey. Holds the ball up and says, that's mine, fellows.
Some of the marking and kicking's been magnificent. I think the general standard of the skill shown by Northern United players has been as high as I've seen it.
Good, Dennis. Well, Slater has got it again from that kick from Southcombe. Fair bit of play over on that far side of the ground today as Slater comes back again virtually to where it was before. It's Southcombe kicked it, but it's Peter Crone, the big follower that Eaglehawk recruited from St Anne's. He's got the ball. Crone drives towards centre half forward, looking for captain coach Robert O'Connell. O'Connell's got front stalls and takes the mark. Handballs onto Ian Baines. Baines balks around one player, puts the ball to the ground, has a shot. Long right foot kicking towards full forward. There's no one there except David Townrow. 2 grabs on the chest, almost out, grabbed it again, and Townrow will go back from, well, he could throw the ball over the line there for a goal here.
Good piece of play from captain and coach Robert O'Connell, and David Townrow almost missed the one opportunity he's had for the day to do something for the side.
Well, he's marked it all right, Dennis. He'll go back and put it through David Townrow. That's Eaglehawk's 9th goal. It's only academic now, Shane, as the scoreboard reads, and Northern United at 25-14, 164 to Eaglehawk 9-9-63.
And here's a shot of Townrow's mark, and as we see it almost spilled out. Townrow's been a fairly quiet player today, but Dennis, in rather famous Aussie parlance, he's had a few mates.
He has had a lot of mates. They'd just be so disappointed, all those boys, because they have done it the hard way, and I think nobody would have expected them to be thrashed like this.
There's the bounce in the centre. Eaglehawk have got it back to 101 points. Can they get it below that 100 mark? It's always a great embarrassment to a club to be beaten by over 100 points in the grand final. Looks sick at the moment because Neiman's won it after a series of handballs for United. He's had a long bomb to goals, and Andrew McDougall takes a good strong mark in the goal square in front of Gary Mountjoy. He puts it out to the half-back flank in front of the scoreboard where Slater stands his ground well and marks in a pack there with Peter Cole and David Ludeman. Slater's off for a run. He's in trouble. Now he gets away. Brilliant pace, Slater, as he drives into the centre. All players miss the ball. Chance now for young McIver to come into the game. He taps it out in front of him and does it well. Bert McIver in toward full forward. O'Connell takes a good mark. And the captain coach of the Borough has got the chance to bring this margin down below the 100-point mark. Usually a fairly good kick as O'Connell. He's a long way out. 45 to 50 metres from goal, but goals have been kicked from this position on the QEO before. O'Connell drifts it across the face for mine. Let's have a look. No, it's snuck home. So O'Connell kicks, I would imagine, his first goal of the day. No, his second. Robbie O'Connell's got 2. And Eaglehawk bring that margin under the 100-point limit now as they go to 10-9-69. Northern United 25-14, 164.
A good mark under pressure and good conversion from Robbie O'Connell. At least he can get something out of the final minutes of this game.
Well, it's certainly been a second sorry tale for the Borough. Right since that first quarter, when United banged through 7 brilliant goals, Eaglehawk have never recovered. Walsh runs it out of the centre. Well done. He'll look for O'Connell again. Couldn't take the mark on that occasion. Featherby has got the chance to bring it away. Well tackled by Baines, but feeds it off to Southcombe. Again, United with plenty of numbers at the ball. Southcombe goes wide looking for Cole. He misses what he should have taken. Gilmore gets it across to Townrow. And Townrow now back toward that forward pocket position. Baines versus Featherby. And Baines has taken a glorious mark in the forward pocket on the outer side of the ground.
Ian Baines will go back and have a shot for goal, I would think, at this dying stage of the match. I've got 29 minutes on the clock. Good mark by Baines there. What's he done with it? It's come in short. Wayne Walsh is caught around the neck, but it's out of bounds before Walsh can get it.
It's a free kick, I think, Richard. The umpire's getting very generous. Wayne, I think, did duck his head, but he's got the free kick.
Right, well, Wayne Walsh will take the shot from wide out on the pocket side. And there's Harold Hall and the boys getting the champagne ready. Well, he can well afford to do it. They're 100-odd points in front. And I beg your pardon, they're just short of 100 points in front as Wayne Walsh chips that ball in short to Peter Crone. There's Harold's having a bit of trouble with the cork there, but I think it'll come out all right in the end, Harold, no worries. There'll be a bit more of that drunk too before this weekend's over. Anyway, Crone has put the ball through. It's only academic at this stage. It'll help the Eaglehawk score go up a little bit, but it won't matter all that much. 25-14, 164 for Northern United. Eaglehawk 11-9, 75.
Well, they're certainly having a go at that champagne down there. I think the bench is having real trouble. I might need the 20 footballers to get at it. There's the scoreboard, 164-75. And in one of the more amusing incidents of the day, Hassel Hall is having all sorts of problems getting the cork out of the champagne. That is country footy at its very best as we see the ball back in the centre again. Here's the bounce down now. Southcombe wins it down, but only as far as big Gary Adlam of Eaglehawk. He puts it up and under into ward half forward. Goes to Joe Geary. He really hasn't done much wrong today and would have to be in United's top 5 or 6 players. Puts it wide to Cole. Cole feeds it on to Ludeman, who's running. They've been running all day, the Swallows. Ludeman's kick looking for Shelton was a poor one, and it goes to Crone. And there's the siren. That's the siren, and there goes the champagne. Did they ever get the cork out? I don't think they did. But United are premiers. 3 in a row as the mounted police fly onto the QEO. Final scores here. They're still working on the cork. 25 of 14. 164. Great shot of Bluey Southcombe there. Congratulations to the man in the Hall of Fame. And there's the dejected, desolate figure of Robbie O'Connell, the Eaglehawk captain coach. Great disappointment for the guy today. Eaglehawk finishing on 11.975. The winning margin, 89 points. Check it again. 25-14 Northern United. Eaglehawk 11-9. Well, as Dennis works out his better players on the ground, we're about to go up for the ceremony because we haven't got a lot of time up our sleeve. Let's quickly, Richard, check the goal figures, please.
Right, very quickly through them, Shane. For Northern United in that score of 25-14 is Gavin Exall with 8. Tony Barnes with 7. Gerard Geary with 3, Tony Southcombe 2, and 1 each, and Gary Mountjoy with 2, and 1 each to Tony Doran, Darren Tricky and Reece Langan. For Eaglehawk, 2 goals apiece to Peter Crone, Darryl Gilmore and Robert O'Connell, and singles to Wayne Walsh, Andrew Shannon, Alan Findlay, Neil Munro and David Townrow.
At quarter time it was United 7-7 to 1 behind. They led 12 goals to 3 at half time, 17 to 6 at 3/4 time, and banged on a bridge of 8 goals 1 to 5 goals 1 to win this game very, very comfortably by 89 points. Dennis Higgins, a quick summary of the game and your better players for either side.
Well, certainly congratulations to Tony Southcombe, a magnificent effort. Really, firstly for Eaglehawk, I think only Peter Rogerson, Brian Donington and Shannon and Thompson probably could keep their heads up as contributing something to what was a terrible exhibition really from Eaglehawk and a most disappointing one. But for the victors, Northern United played beautifully really, you could name the whole side, but for my money, Barnes and Mountjoy, I think, had the most effect overall on the game. Marlowe, I'd slip in for 3rd. Scotty Neiman, I thought, contributed a lot. Ludeman, and I think Reece Langan, who's a young player and really over the 4 quarters played very well. Not forgetting Gary Evans played very well in the first part of the game. But honestly, you could go right through that side and pick them out. But the 3 best on the ground in my book, Barnes, Mountjoy and Langan.
Okay, I'd go Marlowe probably for my 3rd pick, but I think he and Langan. And the unsung heroes of the day, the McAleesers, the Rhodes and the Joe Gearys, also fine efforts indeed. As far as the stats go, Eaglehawk 171 kicks for the day, 60 marks and 72 handballs. And we'll weigh that up against the Northern United total in a moment for you to give you an idea of the way Northern United absolutely dominated this game. Time is on the wing and we may not have time to show you the presentations. A great shot there of Joe Geary, but we can let you know that the Puma Most Determined Award this afternoon for the most determined player from either side for Eaglehawk has been won by Peter Rogerson, and for Northern United, Gary Mountjoy. So Gary Mountjoy wins the most determined player award for United, and Peter Rogerson for the Eaglehawk club.
I think it would be remiss of us not to mention the contribution of Gavin Exall, because he had a very easy second half, but he still kicked goals then, and he was fantastic in the first half.
Well, certainly that fine win of Northern United will certainly have the 2 small towns rocking tonight, Dennis. 25 goals, 14 is a brilliant performance in a grand final. And when you hold your opposition to 11 goals, 9, a winning margin of some 89 points is something I think United fans will remember for a long, long time. They defeated Eaglehawk in 84. It was a tough, hard game that day and fairly wet and drizzly conditions. They got home that day by about a 4 or 5 goal margin, if I remember. Let's check back on that 1984 score. 18-16 to 12-10. Last year they were too strong for Sandhurst after the Dragons headed them in the 3rd quarter. But today it was just one-way traffic right from the word go. And Dennis Higgins, it really must go down as one of the most impressive grand final wins for a long, long time in Bendigo. Perhaps reminiscent of 82 when Eaglehawk themselves go Golden Square, one of the greatest buildings we've ever seen.
It really was a matter of the side, one side being much better than the other. The skill level was extremely high. Northern United players, And certainly the standard of play, although it's a disappointing game as a contest, the standard of play, the skills, the marking, the kicking, the handballing from one side, just excellent.
Now let's just have a check of Northern United statistics. 208 kicks as compared to Eaglehawk, who had 171. Northern United had 92 marks compared to 60 for the Borough, and handballs 80 as compared to 72 is an interesting statistic. We'll check on the free kick tally for you in a moment. There goes Bluey Southcombe. And Richard, a moment ago we saw the champagne on air. Did we ever find out if that cork came out?
Yes, I did. I think, well, I didn't, but I think it did, Shane, because I saw Harold Hall giving his wife Helen a little drink out of the bottle. So after a lot of nudging and a lot of fiddling about, I think she finally came out. I don't really think that's going to be the only one that's open all weekend. I have a bit of a suspicion there could be a few cases of it open.
I go along with you. Free kick tally, 29-22 in favour, interesting enough, of Eaglehawk. Let's check the earlier scores, because straight from the presentations we'll be finishing our telecast. Earlier in the day, in the reserves, Golden Square 10-4-64 defeated South Bendigo 6-13-49, and in the under-18s a cliffhanger, a brilliant game of junior football. South Bendigo 11-9-75 defeated Sandhurst 11-8-74. Now let's go to Alan Besley in the presentation position to move to the presentation ceremony, which will begin with Reg McDonald in the presentation of the Bendigo Advertiser Cup.
There's Harold's bottle of champagne.
There's Tony Southcombe holding aloft the Bendigo Advertiser Cup. And what a great thrill it must be for Tony, who was invested in the Hall of Fame on Friday night. Here comes the announcement now of the Nolder Cup. And Tony Barnes has been adjudged best player on the ground. The Nolder Trophy to Tony Barnes of Northern United as the best player on the ground. He played a magnificent game, Richard. Let's check the goal tally again.
Certainly, Shane. Well, the major goal kickers, we won't give the singles, but the major goal kickers for Northern United, Gavin Exel got 8, Tony Barnes got 7, Gerard Geary 3, and 2 apiece to Gary Mountjoy and Tony Southcombe. And from Eaglehawk, Robert O'Connell, Darryl Gilmore and Peter Crone got 2 each.
Well, that's a great credit to Tony Barnes. A magnificent game from that fellow this afternoon. He's taken out the Nolder Trophy for best man on the ground, and he also takes out a couple of other awards. And the Northern United crowd, a great shot of them there spilling onto the Queen Elizabeth Oval. They'll be cheering a long, long time as they see the United players come up and take their trophies. The most determined trophies again, Gary Mountjoy has just been announced by Alan Besley as the most determined player for United, and Peter Rogerson takes that nod for Eaglehawk. Well, Northern United, Dennis, 3 flags in a row. It's very difficult to achieve that in these days of football. A fine effort indeed.
There's very few people would have experienced that at all, let alone get the chance for 1, let alone 3. But Tony Southcome's got a remarkable record. He's recognised, I think, by anybody who's played with him or had much to do with him. His tremendous football brain, and they had, it's easy to forget now, but they had a very rough lead-up period. They played magnificently to beat Sandhurst, and of course an extraordinary exhibition today. I just noticed Gavin Exel standing up there. He's kicked a swag of goals, and people probably haven't put him in the best 3 players, but his influence on the game was huge in that first half.
Well, they often say never play injured players in a final. Exel and Geary, there was a huge cloud over them. Geary was obviously not fully fit and had to go off during the game, as Tony Southcombe